Angela, it's so nice to have you here with us. What do you think was crucial to your success at KeyBank?
You know, Wendy, I was a good collaborator in the bank, even before it was chic to get out of your silos. So I think that helped me because I spent most of my career on the client-facing side, especially earlier in my career, and I'd get to know people within the bank to figure out what they could do for my customers. And I think that building that network, getting to know people internally, really helped me. And I would be tapped for internal assignments to collaborate across the banks.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, but they don't teach collaboration in business school. So do you think this is something that you learned from a mentor? Or was it an intentional thought, look, I need to work, for me to be most successful for my clients, I have to work across the organization?
I think it came naturally, but I do think that because I was so focused on the client and making sure that I could deliver good things for the customer, I was very intentional about it.
Yeah.
I'm actually an introvert by nature. You wouldn't know that, but I am, and so I think by forcing myself to collaborate across the organization, it helped me build a network and relationships.
What do you recommend that women do to position themselves for leadership roles and advancing in their careers?
I think women have to get out of their comfort zones and they have to be willing to take career risks. It's really important, and I think even if you have to take a lateral assignment to gain critical skills, that's really, really valuable. So that was something for me that I just took to heart, that take risks, put yourself out there to grow. And I also think you've got to get leadership experience. And women will ask me, well, if I've never been a manager, how do I do that? And I will say, go volunteer. So Crew is a wonderful place for women to get leadership experience. A story that I will tell younger women in my organization is that I chaired a board of a pretty significant nonprofit in Cleveland before I ever had a management job at Key. And so that experience was really foundational. And when I was interviewed for my first platform leadership job, I called upon that experience, and it was very valid and real.
So what do you see, Angela, that's happening in the marketplace right now in commercial real estate that could be a disruptor, something that's on the horizon or a trend that you're seeing that we need to be aware of?
This is something that I'm extremely focused on. I think people don't realize how much disruption that we are going to face. I've been in banking 30 years, and when I think about what we may be facing over the next 10 years, I think it's going to eclipse the prior 30. Everybody's carrying these smartphones in their pockets, right? We have heavy computing power. Our expectations as consumers are different, so that's going to disrupt every single business. And I know in banking we are thinking about how are we delivering the client experience to the customer, and what investments are we making, and things like robotics and artificial intelligence are real. We are looking at those technologies and deploying them.
Angela, I'd really love to hear what you would say is the most important life lesson that you learned at work.
Believing in yourself. When people have faith in you and they're giving you opportunity, grab the brass ring and take it. I would also say that you have to find your voice. As women, sometimes we might be asked our opinion and we like to think about it. We think about it, we don't necessarily blurt out. At least for me that was true, or is true. And I think to be able to find your voice, make it authentic, but to make sure that your opinions are heard is really, really critical.
And did someone teach you that lesson to have faith in yourself and to take risks and to find your voice, or is that something that you've just recognized over the years?
I think it's something that I've had to really work on. I've had to, when I was tapped for some pretty significant opportunities, there were times when I didn't know if I could do it, and I really had some fear about it. And actually my husband was very helpful in sitting back and saying, you know what, they're seeing some things in you that you don't see in yourself. And then you just had to have faith and go for it.
Yeah.
And really what I learned was, until you put yourself in the fire, you don't know how good you are, and you're better than you think you are. So I think it's really important.
You just struck a chord with me, here at Crew Network. There are times when I believe that women, they don't have enough faith in themselves, and if they just make a leap of faith, that it's going to be fine and it's going to work out. Someone sees something in you, don't pass up this opportunity.
Well, and when you do a good job, your confidence builds, and then you're just on an upward trajectory, so it's really important.
Yeah, well, great. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. I loved it.